Decisions, decisions, decisions. This is KD Drummond of bloggingtheboys.com and also SBNationDallas.com, bringing you the latest and greatest on Cowboys news. It's less than 2 weeks until the draft, and I don't know which direction I'm leaning. We have pretty much a civil war going on right now amongst Cowboys fans. Some are on this side saying the offense is the elite unit of the team, except there's a fatal flaw on the offensive line. And if we could fix that, we could possibly be Super Bowl contenders. On this side, you have another group of fans that say the defense is horrendous. We have to throw everything at it. We have to throw silly putty, the kitchen sink, Charles Barkley and drag on the newest Weight Watchers commercials. We have to try everything in order to try to fix this defense. And that means throwing the number 1 pick, probably the number 2, 3, 4, and our conditional pick that we received for losing a couple free agents last year. Now, there's arguments to be made on both sides of the equation, and they all make sense. Argument 1 says that if you improve the interior of the offensive line, protect Romo, get short yardage gains, third and short, goal line situations, that obviously you improve the team and are able to keep the offense on the field, keep the defense fresh. Side 2 says, look at all the games we lost because the defense collapsed late in the games. If you had more talent on defense, that wouldn't happen. So, what do? I really can't make a decision. I'm leaning defense, but there's something to be said for each side. Now, how are we going to address that in the draft since we've already been through most of free agency? On side 1, you really only have one solution. Everybody's targeting Stanford guard David DeCastro as the answer to our prayers. He's going to come in, take up 1 of 3 interior offensive line positions, and miraculously save the day. Now, granted, I get it. He is the best guard prospect since Steve Hutchinson, but I'm a little wary about taking a guard that high in a draft, especially a draft that has an abundance of interior lineman prospects that are slated for the 2nd and 3rd round that have attached to them the notes that they would be the best guard in the draft if it wasn't for DeCastro. In other years, they would be the top guard, so on and so forth. Now, on the other side, you have basically 3 options for the defensive line if you want to improve there. There's also options in the secondary, but let's focus on the defensive line today. You have 3 people, and they all have question marks. You have Fletcher Cox from Mississippi State, Dontari Poe from Memphis, and then you also have, oh my goodness, his name is just slipping my mind right now, Quentin Coples from North Carolina, who personally for me is my favorite amongst them. Now, Quentin Coples had an issue last year. If he had came out, or if he was eligible to come out the previous year, he would probably have been a top 5 pick. His motor was tremendous. He was making plays all over the field. But this year, after everybody left North Carolina and scandal hit, he got moved inside to defensive tackle, and his energy just wasn't there. He did accumulate 8.5 sacks, so it wasn't like his numbers were completely disappearing, but he just didn't have that motor, that that you had seen in previous years. And even he admitted that he gave himself a C as far as his effort. Now, that even led NFL.com's Mike Mayock to call him undraftable, which I find pretty laughable. I love Mayock. He has forgotten more than I'll ever know about drafting, but undraftable for Quentin Coples? Come on, bruh. Be serious. Now, Fletcher Cox from Mississippi State, he could be an answer, but he plays with not the best technique. He plays with a very bad high pad level, and a lot of times he'll get blown off the ball by double teams, and he seems to be suited more for what we need, a 5-tech defensive end for a 3-4. But there's still some question marks about where his stats are and things of that sort. And then finally we have Dontari Poe, the workout warrior, who did pretty much absolutely nothing at University of Memphis against inferior competition. And while that's a red flag, you don't have 346-pound linemen moving that quick and with that much power. He led all defensive linemen in the bench press, and he dominated at the combine. That's just to say it lightly. But when you put on the game tape, he doesn't impress. He wasn't used very well. He was used as a 3-4 D end and also a 4-3 D tackle, and he was never used as what we would use him for. And there is some question about the coaching ability of Memphis' staff. Let's be honest here. Now, the problem with all of these guys, DeCastro, Coples, Poe, and Cox, they might be gone by the time we get on the clock at 14. And then what do? Civil war is crazy, man. I can't even talk about it anymore. This is KD Drummond. Join us on Blogging the Boys, where we bring you all of the stats, all of the analysis, all of the film study, everything you need to know about the Dallas Cowboys. Salute.